Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is the review of last month, February's month ahead spread, plus the draws as well. So, this is the spread that we had for last month, and this was the moon for What We Leave Behind. So, that was to leave behind any fears or anxieties concerning the unknown, and that things may feel a bit strange and unsettling, and we're not quite sure what to make of it. And we need to let go of that anxiety. Okay, we need to put our trust in the fact that we have just enough light for what we need now, and that things will become clearer later. And that seemed to be echoed in the readings as well. So that's what we left behind. That sense that just because we don't know anything now or know everything, and things perhaps have a strange feel about it because moonlight often casts an eerie light onto things, and things appear different to what they would in the daytime. So things are perhaps not quite what they seem, so that's a bit unsettling as well. And what we need to do is leave behind the fact that we don't know something, and we need to let go of that need to know everything now, to trust that the things will be revealed in their due time, and to sort of dissipate that fear and anxiety a little bit. Take forward was the King of Cups, which ties in with that because King of Cups is very, very secure in himself and has mastery over his emotions. So he doesn't his emotions dictate his actions. He doesn't react too much through circumstance. He has that mastery. He knows that things will be uncertain for a time. Different times over the ocean here. Sometimes the sea will be calm, sometimes it'll be a bit stormy. But, things change. And, as the sea changes, the appearance of the sea and the feelings it can evoke can change. But he knows that, and he knows how to feel secure in his position, no matter what the tides and the nature of them are. And he knows that whatever's going on now will pass, and he has the ability to connect with his emotions, but not let them rule him out of panic or fear. He has that sense of confidence in his ability to meet the challenges of the time and to, yes, recognize when he has changing emotions, but that doesn't unsettle him enough to make him feel insecure. He knows his emotions. He knows that he's just reacting. It's just a reaction to what's going on, but he doesn't need to be ruled by it. He can choose how he responds. He doesn't have to be pushed into it by the waves of emotion that come upon him. And that's the approach we should take. We were to take going into the month. And the external focus was strength, resilience. And in a sense, we're drawing upon our inner reserves to have the strength to do that. That takes strength to stay calm, keep calm, and carry on the kind of approach. Dealing with the external focus requires that resilience and inner strength, because maybe there were things going on around us where we needed to keep a lid on our emotions and to respond calmly, focused in a way to stop the wilder parts of our nature reacting to situations that arose. And our external focus would be to be restrained, perhaps, and moderate in our response to them. in things that happened around us, in our situations, and not to be excessive in our reaction, and that ties in with the control, the mastery of emotion that the King of Cups has as well. So those cards did link together pretty well. The inner focus was the Six of Wands, and the energy of achievement to success, and doing all these things we've just talked about. If we do it right, if we approach with that mindset that these previous three cards have indicated to us, then we will have a successful month. We'll come out of the month with achievements, with success, because we'll have, the more that we have kept these two cards in mind and have not reacted too much from our feelings, but not that we've suppressed or denied them. That's not the way that it works. The King of Cups feels his emotions. He doesn't shut them out, but he channels these emotions in a constructive way. He doesn't let them push him around. He directs them in a focused way that will be constructive in the situation. So that, I believe, is the distinction there. And doing that brings about the success. And to me, and with an inner focus, is to have that confidence in our ability to be successful, to think of ourselves as achievers. Maybe some of us have needed to work with that in ourselves over the past month, and gained a sense that we can do this, and to recognize, when we reflect, times where we have grown as people and where we have achieved things that we wanted to achieve, even in some small way. And finally, the general energy of the month was the Two of Pentacles, which was about keeping things practically moving, keeping the day-to-day, keeping the energy flowing, keeping our things moving, trying to keep everything in the air, keep things moving and swapping. Don't drop the ball. Try not to drop the ball. Keeping the flow, no matter what the circumstances. Keeping things in balance, where the moderation comes in here with the Strength card and the restraint. Not going to excess either way or the other. Having that sense of control, and putting ourselves in charge in our day-to-day dealings, of managing our resources and our time and our physical energy, and that, trying to harmonize all that together to bring about the success and achievement that we want. So I think that was a very good overview of what I believe the energies of the cards were saying for last month. And it was certainly a month that had those aspects to it, from my experience. So let's do the breakdown of the suits that came out, and if any of these cards came out in the daily draws. So, swords. A sword card came out 7 times. A wands card came out 7 times. So they were pretty evenly matched there. A cups came out 5 times. A pentacles 2. If you add those together, that's another 7. And a mages card came out 7 times. So 7s require, if they're swords, wands, and mages, and then cups and pentacles added together, balanced everything up. We had, that's where you got the 4 7s from, which, of course, it was a short month of 28 days. So, nothing there that it was trying to keep that balance, Even, I mean, the one that was perhaps the least here was the Pentacles. That was only twice. And I think, funnily enough, we had the Two of Pentacles. And we had we didn't have, just a spoiler for the next step, we didn't have the Two of Pentacles come out in the drawers, but we had two Pentacles cards. So, in a sense, it was represented in a symbolic way there. But the others were more or less equally balanced, because I don't think the focus primarily was on the actual physical elements of the practical elements of the earthy elements of life. It was the bit preparing for that. I think the Pentacles part was basically about preparing the way for that. So, did any of these cards come out in the daily draws? One of them did, and that was the Moon card. That came out in the daily draws, and it came just out once. And apart from that, none of the other cards came out, which is not usually what happens. Normally at least one or two. But I think maybe that was because of the nature of what was going on, in the sense of the one that did come out was the Moon card, and the fact that we could only see, there were things that we were beginning to become aware of entirely. So that's why the Moon card was represented in the draws, because the other things were working, the energy was working, but below the surface, these other cards' energies were working below the surface, but they were more in our subconscious, more unseen. So that's why they weren't so in our face. The one that did come out was the Moon card, that was more or less covering them, and because that was the thing that was perhaps preventing us from seeing what we needed to see, but everything became clearer as we went on. So that's my interpretation of it. You may have a different interpretation of it. The only other thing I would say in conclusion is that we had a lot of eights. Eight of Cups came out more than once. We had Eight of Swords come out a couple of times, and we had Eight of Wands as well. I don't think we had Eight of Pentacles. No, we had Eight of Swords. That came out 3 times, in fact. We had an Eight of Wands once, and then we had an Eight of Cups once. No, I think we might have had the Eight of Cups twice, did we? No, that's a 6, not an 8. So, yes, so there we go. We had Eight of Wands twice, Eight of Cups once, and Eight of Swords 3 times. So that was about getting beyond that restriction, sense of being restricted with the Eight of Swords. It was gathering momentum with the Eight of Wands, and it was searching for something new and fresh with the Eight of Cups. So the Eight's been much about wanting to go deeper, more intense, more, it's about mastery. That was another thing, gaining mastery over our emotions and our abilities. And it's about intense, it's about momentum and speed, with maximizing more intense pace of, things picking up the pace, things livening up as we approach spring, through the month of February. Now we're in March, where we're approaching the spring equinox, so it's very much coming into play there. So I feel that it was a key month where we had to prepare ourselves for what's going to perhaps come in March. And the next step, of course, will be to do the month ahead spread for March to see if we can get the energy of what lies ahead. But for now, that's what the review of the February month ahead spread and daily draws. So thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.